Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Victory and this is Victory Diary. Today I'm going to be doing a story time and I actually came prepared. I have my tablet, I have my notes, I have my pink Bible for emotional support, of course, and um and I also have my pillow pet. I forgot the name. I haven't seen her in a while because she's been on the far side of my bed, so I haven't really seen her. But yeah. The topic of today will really just be about like my past. Like when I was younger, I never got the chance to talk about my past. I never got the chance to speak up. And since I post on YouTube and since I have a phone and since I have free will, I'm just like, well, Victory, why don't you start now? You're always talking in your head. How about you talk to the camera? And I'm gonna try to make this a short video. So if I talk fast, y'all bear with me. I'm just trying to get everything and every detail that I can into the video. Um, I'm a little excited to show you how my notes look like because, like I said, never wrote it before, never took the time to write it before, and I'm gonna do it now. And I hope the lighting is okay because I just charged the little light things that I have connected to this tripod that's holding up my phone right now, but I didn't charge it fully because I didn't care to. But yeah, so hopefully it doesn't die. This is what she looks like on my little note. So I'll be reading off of that. So to give you a little context, I grew up in a strict Christian Nigerian household. And basically what that looks like is that I was not raised American at all. I was not raised American at all. I grew up African, went to African church, shopped at African stores, still went to American stores like Walmart and stuff. Sometimes, Target and the mall, but mainly African stores. Like I said, African churches. If my parents could take me to African school, they would have. But since we live in America, I went to an American school. But we lived in a small town, so it was very reserved. I was even more reserved. So I was reserved in the house, reserved outside the house, and things of that nature. Just to give you some background, and also to give you some background, throughout this like entire time, because I plan on making like more videos about like even up to middle school, high school, and even college. Like I've struggled with anxiety and depression and eating problems, but God has healed me from all of those things. Thank you, Jesus. I've been healed of all those things. So I no longer struggle with those things, but I most definitely know how it feels to struggle with those things. I know as a kid how it is to struggle with those things, and that's how I'm gonna be talking to you today. So the first point, I gotta log back in. The first point on my that I said on my note is to start in elementary school. So basically, when I remember moments from the first grade, like I barely remember things from the age of 10 and below, but I remember things from the first grade, and um, I just remember it being so freaking hard. Like when people joke and say, "Oh my god, it's so hard to be a kid," like even I sometimes do that. I'll be like, "Oh my goodness, it is so hard to be a kid. Well, all you have to do is sleep, eat, wake up, play. Sleep, eat, wake up, play." But once they get older, and once you do get older, once I got older, y'all, that was freaking hard. Like, let's talk about it. That was hard. And if you didn't have to experience that, I'm thankful for you. But for me, I had experienced that. And life was just so freaking hard. Like, but in this case, I'm talking about school. So at school, due to complications when my mom was having me and being a premature baby and having health issues, that also came with brain issues. Because I don't always say this because I mean there ain't no point going around just saying this. I almost died as a baby, lack of oxygen, low blood count, almost need a blood transfusion, almost died as a baby. So that comes with its own problems. So I was diagnosed with dyslexia by the school psychiatrist in elementary school. But before I was diagnosed, I remember like struggling how to read and write in first grade, and y'all, it was so freaking hard. Like I remember like writing a whole like paragraph on paragraph on already like very difficult because like there was a point in time where like I wrote a whole paragraph, wrote the entire paper. My teacher like gave me back the paper and was like, Victory, read the paper to me. And I couldn't read a thing I wrote. I didn't even know what I wrote. It looked like scribbles to me. And she also couldn't read it either because it also looked like scribbles to her. But I wrote it and I thought I was writing good, but then I wasn't. And it's like things like that just kept on happening. I swear they were like, okay, there is something more to this. So like, and it's just been hard ever since then. Like navigating being in like small classes when nobody has ever explained to you why you're in those small classes can be difficult because people like to think that like children don't know what's going on, and it's like I did know what's going on. I just didn't understand it at all. I was just in the motions in the class because, in elementary school, you're just in one class. But for me, I was taken out of my class and put into another class periodically. Like at a certain time of day, I would go to a different class, but then everybody else would stay in the same class sometimes. Like it really depended on the grade that you were in. When I was in first grade, I think I stayed in the same class all day. Second grade, I could have went to different classes. Third grade, I was in the same class every single day. Fourth grade, I would venture out to different classes. And then fifth grade, I was in the same class. Yeah, I was in the same class every day. I didn't go to other classes unless it was like music class and stuff like that, where you had to go to a different room to do like science projects and stuff. But like I still understood. I don't know why I was so inconsistent in elementary school. I don't know why, but I still understood that like everybody else stayed in the same class all day, but yet I stayed in the same class all day, but then also went to another different class with people I did not know, learning in a way that it was still hard for me to comprehend, but I eventually comprehended. But learning with people who had disabilities, like when I was in elementary school, it didn't click in my head because I didn't have that type of exposure to other people who had disabilities. Like I didn't see kids in wheelchairs. I saw kids with crutches because they played sports and I didn't, and they would have crutches, but never kids who are bound to like a wheelchair. Never kids who are blind. I just didn't see those kind of things when I was in elementary school. And so like when I was put into those small classes, it was kind of like, psh, yeah. So starting elementary school was very hard for me because of that reason. And then having parents who refuse to talk to you about it, refuse to believe that you went through that, refuse to believe that you even experienced that, and refuse to believe that you had that. Now I will say, even currently, I still do go through it. Like it's neurological, but you can always overcome it. You can always get through it. Okay, second thing on my list, I said, talk about your teachers never noticing. Like, it was always crazy how, like, my teachers never noticed. Like, with my behaviors, and this is another point that I have on here where it's like, growing up, like, with the biology of children, children should be up there having fun. Children should be over there socializing. Children should never just be sitting there alone, quiet, looking sad all day, never looking you straight in your eyes, not be able to confidently speak, not playing, stuff like that. Like, or just looking alone, not being able to socialize. Like, children should not be like that at all. It's okay for them to feel embarrassed. It's okay for them to feel shy at some moment in time, but every single day, constantly, that's not normal, and that should be looked into. And like remembering how my teachers never noticed, it was kind of just like it was weird because like in elementary school, I was that type of kid where like I did not talk, I didn't look you in your eye every single day in school. I would have my head down like this, and I would make sure that my braids cover my face so no one could see me. Or like I wouldn't speak at all. Even when it was time for me to speak, I literally just would not speak. I was very shy, not confident at all, didn't know what I want, need, or even had. Like I didn't know anything about myself. And anytime they were asking that question, like it would be so hard for me to answer. But yet none of my teachers like they never noticed. Like I never talked to like a school therapist, never talked to a school social worker, none of that. The only people that I actually like went to was special education classes and normal classes, and talked to those teachers and my special education teachers. And I also had behavioral problems sometimes. So like, but they never took into account. It was random behavioral problems, and it's like, no, I'm not just acting. I'm acting this way because of a reason, you know. and so and so yeah, that was like my next point. Like I feel like people need to understand children act a certain way. there is a specific biology that all children have, which is to play and learn, have fun, all just being happy because they have a lot of dopamine, like just always being happy. And when those things don't align, and being social, we're social butterflies, we're human. When those things don't align, then that means something is wrong. And for my teachers in the past not to realize that, it makes me confused, but at the end of the day, that's just what happened. So I'm telling y'all. But it will always confuse me because it's like I never like to underestimate that. Anytime I see a kid who is not like showing those factors, it's kind of like I'm always gonna side eye. Yeah. Um, Knowing yourself, and yeah, like when I was in elementary school, I didn't know myself. Anytime they would ask me about myself, I would not know. And I would always hesitate, and I would always be confused and stuff, or sometimes not an answer, and it's like those are signs, y'all. Those are the signs. Next one thing I have is growing up with dyslexia in elementary school, which I already covered. And like I said earlier, growing up with dyslexia was very, very hard. Please tell your children their disabilities at a young age. I don't care if you think it's going to upset them. I don't care if you think it's going to make them confused. I don't care. Because what is going to make them confused is them not knowing, and then them getting in high school and then realizing that they're around other kids who have a disability, and they're like, wait, but I don't have a disability, so why am I around these kids? Babe, yes, you do. Your parents just didn't tell you for 15 years of your life, aka me. I wasn't confused because I had to learn for myself. I learned for myself that I had a disability, a learning disability in middle school. So I had to learn for myself and accept it for myself. But my parents, they always knew. They always knew. We sent letters. My special education teacher, she always sent home like confirmation letters and letters to authorize things, like tests that I could take and stuff like that. Papers home, and my parents would sign it, and I would return it right back signed. So they knew. So yeah. Elementary school bullies, y'all. People don't understand. Bullying still exists. Just because it didn't happen to you, just because it didn't happen to you and your group of friends, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And for me, at elementary school, as quiet as I was, there would still be times where I would talk and I would get like bullied and stuff. But like, I remember one time like experiencing like racism, because I went to an all white school, and or just like kids being mean, and it's like this is why like I don't know, like my kids would just have to be homeschooled because like it just never worked out. Bullying for me personally never ever worked out whatsoever, and it was never going to work out. So I personally can't, like, if I were to have kids one day, I personally can't put my kids through that, because even if they were to stick up for themselves, even if a teacher were to stick up for them, bullies are always going to be there. And I'm not saying I never want my kids to experience bullying, because it builds character. But at the same time, I never want my kids to experience bullying, because like it's different when you're in school and then you're around kids who either A, don't understand and still terrorize you, or don't understand and terrorize you, or because they're being terrorized at home. But it's like at the end of the day, with those three factors I just mentioned, not one adult is there to save you, or not one adult is there to help you. And for me, that was my case. Not one adult was there to help me or save me or nothing, and I still just followed all of that in for some odd reason. Um, Anxiety in elementary school. Y'all, my anxiety was through the absolute roof. Like if there was, it was all the way to the sky in elementary school. And that's what plays into me being so quiet and shy, not knowing myself. I mean, my family plays into me not knowing myself, but just being quiet and shy, not speaking up, not answering questions because I feel like I'm stupid, or just like things like that. Really, like it was really because of anxiety and depression. Really, I can talk about both right now. Anxiety and depression, like those things played such a big factor into my mood and my everyday appearance within elementary school, as to where it's like I'm also still surprised that like I wish teachers understood more about mental health more, because then like teachers back then, or teachers even now, would know that okay, when a kid is just being quiet, not social, all those things I just mentioned, maybe mental health can play into effect. Maybe we can do this for that one particular kid. Instead of paying attention to the kid who's doing so great socially, probably plays sports or something, gets good grades, instead of paying more attention to those kids, how about we pay more attention to the kids who are in the back of the class, quiet, head down, not talking, not confident at all, barely knows things about themselves, barely even talks, barely have friends. How about we pay attention to them instead of paying attention to the kids who seem like they're good? You know, like let's pay attention to the kids who seem like they're not good every day, instead of paying attention to the kids who seem like they're good. And I say seem like they're good because those kids who are good, who seem like they're good, could easily not be good. And those kids who seem like they're not good are most likely not good, you know? So it's like, because I always had like some sort of like jealousy towards the kids who were doing so good in school, in the elementary school, you know, playing sports, had the money, had good grades, always answering the right questions, getting praise from the teachers. I would always be jealous of those kids because it's like, okay, you're getting the praise, but sometimes I try my best. I see you try my best, but I'm not getting that same amount of praise. I'm not getting that same amount of like attention that I wish I had. And then like anxiety and depression is just eating away at myself, making me even more less confident. I'm not saying it's a teacher's responsibility to combat that or help, but being a teacher, working with kids, kids are very impressionable. Kids can learn a lot from their teachers. They learn from their teachers every single day. So the way the teacher treats every individual kid in there can determine sometimes how that kid will feel. And it's like, it's kind of like this. Like, if you tell a kid every single day that they're bad, or you treat them like they're bad, they're gonna feel bad. Or if you sit up there every single day, you treat every last kid in that class like they're good, they're gonna feel good. You know, it's kind of like that. So you feel like neglected in a way by your teachers, all of them, because there's only one teacher, no, two teachers that I actually feel like actually like cared about me and paid attention to me. They paid attention to everybody else in the class too, but they also took a little energy to paying attention to me. Was my first grade teacher, my third grade teacher. Everybody else, no. Which is quite sad, you know, because you every teacher should give their kids uh equal attention so that they can feel special, so that they can feel like somebody actually wants to be around them, you know, because I don't know why people think that kids don't have feelings, but we do. We indeed do have feelings, and it plays into adulthood. Um, Last but not least, what people do through throughout today in school. So I feel like it even plays until today. Like people still think that like these little kids don't have emotions. These little kids don't be going through nothing. When a 3-year old could experience anxiety and depression, when a 5-year old could experience anxiety and depression, I've even heard stories of like someone at the age of 6, as young as 6 years old, experiencing anxiety and depression, or even OCD, ADHD, all of those jazz. And then learning disabilities, like you're born with that. So that happens like within the beginning. So kids experience that like within the beginning. And I just wish that teachers were more just more graceful, more thoughtful, and more empathetic to how children think or could think. Yeah, let me put it like that. I want teachers to be more empathetic about how children could think and probably are thinking, and be more attentive to like I said, the kids in the back of the class are not speaking, not talking, not doing nothing, none of that, because I was one of those kids and I needed the attention and I needed the help, but never got it because the teachers were too busy focusing on the kids who were being athletic, doing the sports, getting all A's in the classroom, and not the other way around. I mean, and it's kind of like, it's just weird. It's just weird to me, but like, shoulda, coulda, woulda, you know? It's in the past now, but I'm happy that I'm able to talk about it. I'm happy I'm able not to like more so get it off my chest because I've talked about it before. I just never talked about it like publicly. Like I hope this video reaches maybe even somebody to like open their mind to a different horizon, open their mind to a different horizon, open their mind to a different like mindset, and just open their eyes to something different, somebody else perceptive, yeah, point of view. Um, and that is the end of this video. I hope y'all like it. I wasn't gonna make it like too long. I just want to get my point across mainly. I think maybe in a different video I'll make sure, or maybe if I remember, to talk about like things that happen at elementary school. I was definitely gonna talk about things that happen in middle school because that was like that was crazy. Like I hope I'm excited to share it because that was actually genuinely crazy. That those are things that should have never happened to kids, including me. Those are things that kids shouldn't even be thinking about. Those are things that we should have never experienced, but we did, and it's like, yeah, I'm just can't wait to talk about it. can't wait to can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to share with you guys. Can't wait to make more videos, aka story times of my experience. And I hope that y'all like this video. I hope y'all like this quick little story time. I hope y'all learned something. And I hope y'all understand more about, like, kids psychology and what kids can go through, aka everything that adults go through, kids be going through basically. And yeah, and I hope y'all have a good time, good day, good year, whenever y'all are watching this video. And I will catch y'all in the next one. And also, before I cut this video, I want to show out my shirt. I'm wearing green eggs and ham. It's a little like messed up right there, but at least the symbol right there is still on it, the good old green eggs and ham. um, yeah, and that was this video. I hope y'all liked it. Thank you for watching. Bye, y'all.